Hello, hello. Hey, ladies. Welcome back to the channel. How are you ladies doing? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Wait, let me see. How have you ladies been? I haven't went live. Well, I went live last week? I usually go live a few times a week. But so much has been going on and let me see. Okay. So you ladies can hear me. Hello. I know it's a little later than when I usually go live. It's 8 p.m. where I'm at. I know in other parts it may be like 11, but I don't want to stay on long. I just want to talk about some things. So I'm just going to get right into it. Obviously, if you have not been living under a rock, you saw that whoop-de-doo. Fresh and Fit went viral basically off of this podcast they did with these two white ladies, or not white ladies, this white guy and this one white lady. And I'm not even going to play the video because it literally went viral. And I think a few other people have went live about it already. But I'm going to just play a few parts of it that didn't make like the viral clips or the viral video that's been going around of the actual interview. I did listen to the whole thing in its entirety. I actually took the time to go on Fresh and Fit to listen to it, and the Kyle and Jackie O podcast. So I'm gonna share my screen, but I'm just gonna play the audio, but like share my screen of a screenshot. But I titled this live "Male Improvement Equals Male Subjugation." I'm sorry, not male subjugation. Male sensationalism plus subjugation of women. And please like the video as you come on in. I titled this live because out of all the videos and clips that I've been hearing about how Manosphere and Fresh and Fit talking points, Kitten Heels talking points are all dedicated to male improvement, it's really just male sensationalism. And sensationalism is it's a real term, it's a real legitimate term, and it means the use of exciting or shocking stories or language at the expense of accuracy in order to provoke public interest or excitement. And this is what I believe these channels and these male podcasts are all about. They're not rooted in facts, they're not rooted in helping men actually win. They're rooted in just making men feel good. And the only way that these men can feel good is at the expense of their own morals and their own integrity and their own self discipline, also the expense of women, any woman that they choose to involve themselves with in terms of relationship and anything else, just a woman's happiness, a woman's peace, and what makes her comfortable has to be sacrificed in order for these men on here to feel good, which brings in the podcast, having women call in being degraded, being talked down to. Kitten Heels, for example, all of these podcasts that are dedicated to putting women in their place, that is sensationalism for men. That is men putting out inaccurate judgments, inaccurate opinions on women, not because it's true, but to make them feel good. To say that women over the age of 35 are useless, to say that single mothers are useless and unwanted is not rooted in any type of fact or any type of accurate like science. It's all just sensationalism to men. That's it, particularly Black men, because Black men are really the only ones out here screaming very loudly about how they don't want baby mamas and how they don't want women over 35, when literally, I've said this plenty of times on my channel, that women under the age of 30 are not out here getting married. They're not out here becoming wives, and they're not out here getting married to men who are 40 years old and up. It's complete fantasy, especially if these guys are barely breaking into six figures. Like, usually, for a young girl to marry a guy like that, he's what, like a millionaire or something? Like, not a regular degular guy that just broke into six figures, which is a normal income bracket that anyone can break into if they've had a solid career and have been working consistently for at least 2 decades. You'll end up breaking into the six figure bracket, depending on your field. So let me share my screen to play just a few clips, hopefully. Okay, so this is the viral, one of the viral, well, this is the viral interview that just came out a few days ago. And so many people are already talking about it, but I'm going to play a certain clip that hasn't really went viral, or it's not part of the viral clips. Okay. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna play this.
Look at how you guys responded to what I told you. Shame, guilt, insults, trying to attack our masculinity, whatever it may be. Men can't be honest with women
No.
because you guys can't accept the truth.
It's a
And going back
debate.
to what
It's
you're
your
saying,
opinion versus
and going
my
back to what
opinion.
you're saying you don't like care, like, oh, I could provide my own money, my own security. Congratulations, that's great. But regardless, when women make a certain amount of money, they still want a man that makes more money than they do, typically around 26% more, or no, 52% more. So you can
Where are you
say
getting
that.
those stats from? Can I
That's
ask?
not here in the United States. Women typically want a man
Please, I don't
that makes
want
at
another
least,
chart on the
they
screen.
want at least 26 to 52% more income than they do. Women date up. This has been known since the beginning of time. Women do not only date their equals, if not preferably higher. So if a man is expected to come in, right, bring security, make more money, etc., why can't he have requirements? Why is it that a woman can say, I want a guy that makes this much money, this tall, this good looking, this charming, this confident, and a man says something simple like, I don't like to date women that put sexy photos of themselves on the internet for other men to see when she's supposed to be my woman. Why is that met with such contempt from women? Tell me that.
Well, he
Men
should
can't
take
have
his
standards.
Instagram down too.
That's my whole point. Is
hang
your
on,
double
isn't-
standards? You've
Isn't
got
it a
double
jealousy?
standards.
I think it's a jealousy issue because, like, I've
Yeah.
dated women that were online and have big Instagram followers and models, singers, all this. I've never thought, oh, like even my friends though. You're not wrong. My friends have said, bro, your missus is doing this online or whatever. This is over the years, and like I couldn't care because I'm solid
And
in myself.
So that was the white guy, and he was saying that he doesn't care, you know, about his women posting online because he's secure and solid. And whatever his name is, Myron is saying, it's a problem when the woman does it. It's not a problem when the man does it. Men get less attention. He was saying a whole lot of things throughout this whole interview, but I'm not playing it all. I'm not playing the clips that already went viral because we've pretty much already seen them. But for the most part, this is what it sounds like when men want to compete with women. So if we were to listen to the whole interview, if you guys have seen at least the short clips, the woman Jackie, she literally says, okay, but the fact that men are still getting DMs, they're just not getting as much as women because women get more attention, but men still get DMs. So it's the fact that, it's not that men get nothing. They do get something. They just don't get as much, and they want to get as much or even more as women. And in order for that to happen, the woman needs to just not get anything. So it's almost like it's a competition. The men want to get as much attention that women get. And if they're not getting that, it's a problem, right? So it's competition. it's also what a weird way of greediness. Like you getting a little bit of attention isn't enough. You need as much attention as a woman. It's competition, because real men who are secure don't feel the need to compete with women. They don't care to have as many DMs as women. They have no need for that. They have a purpose. They have things going on in their life. They don't care to sit around and respond to 20 million DMs from a bunch of women in their inbox. And majority of the time, the women who do get a lot of DMs, the likelihood of her responding and actually engaging in any type of physical stuff with the guy in her DMs is very, very slim. However, for men, the likelihood of them trying to engage in some kind of physical activity with any woman in their DMs is much higher. So it doesn't make, I mean, it makes sense because it's competition, but there is no real reason as to why these guys need to have so much attention. They're fixated on women get more attention, women get more attention. Who cares if women gets more attention? Why does that bother you? Right? It's an insecurity, it's competition, it's weakness, it's all types of things, but instead it's considered male improvement. Instead, it's considered men leveling up, men being confident and getting what they deserve, but it's not rooted or based in anything except it's only rooted and based in woman having to delete her stuff, women having to be diminished and brought down and not able to do the same thing, because if you do, you're automatically going to, outshine your guy in terms of attention. And these are the type of guys that really wouldn't last in a long-term relationship anyway.
Ruin
Maybe I'm a
yourself.
fool. Maybe I'm a fool. Maybe not. I don't know. But I do agree with Jackie that your partner shouldn't be. It's not like a pet. You don't own them. You can't control them. But I know what you're saying. You're not wrong. What you guys are saying as a generalization. But I think some men, some women, they think differently. But
Yeah.
I
Here's the
do
thing.
think when you're younger, in your 20s, you are jealous. Men are crazy. And we don't get our head together until we're in our late 30s. Really,
Can I just
we're mental.
stop you guys for a second? We're going to take a short break and come back. Is that okay? Because we've got calls coming through. So people that want to
yes.
ask you some questions.
Well, I didn't
You good with
finish
that?
articulating
All
my
right,
point,
no
but
worries.
we can answer it to
Okay.
you.
Excellent. All right. We'll be back in a moment. If you want to talk to the guys from the Fresh and Fit podcast, do you think their theory is right? Do you oppose it? You can give us a call now on 131065.
Let's go, Kiss. Terrific. No one likes going back to school, but everyone loves Primo Stackers. Salami, cheese, and crackers in a handy snack pack. Primo's.
The kids can't sport today. We're going to get
Handy snack pack.
A bit closer to.
Okay,
for a
7
limited
minutes.
time only. T's and C's
Okay.
exclusions apply.
Just
40
7
weeks.
minutes.
Serious about sleep. The
Yeah.
kids can't sport today. We're going to get to 27.
Mike,
Chet, the
all
shower, the
this
Savo,
is
29 in our
minutes.
west. Nick LaRusso does Kiss Traffic and Weather together on the Kyle and Jackie O show.
Sydney is full of noises, but only one could win a massive $100,000. What is the noise?
It would be absolutely bloody incredible. I can't lie to you. I'm feeling a bit nervous. I'm feeling excited.
That was another music.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that music is terrible.
Yeah, it hurts my ears. But
Bro, what they play? Yo, how is there? Man, I'm not gonna go down that road. Never mind.
but no, guys, I mean, honestly, this is a learning point for y'all, bro. Like, this is why I tell you guys all the time, bro. Do not share your RP awareness with like regular people, bro. They're gonna get mad. They're gonna get triggered. Their knee-jerk reaction, guys, is to if you say if you say something like men and women are not the same, knee-jerk reaction. Oh, yeah, they are.
Wait, it's black again.
They're misogynistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, no.
Oh, never mind.
So
Crikey, mate.
you can't. This is why you can't share your RP awareness with regular people, bro. They're not gonna accept it, and they're gonna try to sit there and demonize you for it.
You think they'll like my Australian accent?
Probably not.
Okay, never mind.
It's really bad. It's really bad.
Down under.
We don't want to offend Australia.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Wait, we got a boomerang and and a hat. In the spirit of Australia, nah. Ease off a little bit, which I believe you can, but the problem is if you do, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So you can't really ease off. You can't.
Yep.
So
this is why nobody respects Australia. That's from St. Jim. Thoughts, Sen?
So I'm just kind of skimming through to the parts that didn't go viral. Let me see.
what's going on with Johnny Depp and stuff. We give you guys this information because here's the thing. A lot of modern day women want equality when it suits them, but that they also want to be treated like a lady when it suits them. Amber Heard literally said, "You're a man. No one's going to believe you."
That's facts, though.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the crazy world that we're in. And she's supposed to be a feminist, right? Which is equality, right? She's supposed to be here for, oh yeah, I'm for the betterment of all. No, it's fucking cap, bro. And this is what's going to happen. They're going.
Yeah, thanks for the unappropriate opener there. Idiot, imbecile, panel operator, fool. Okay, so forget about that embarrassment. Turn the music down, clown.
Are we with you guys? Can you hear us still?
We're back.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
here.
you're back. Okay, great. We have some calls because if you just tuned in, obviously we're talking about a viewpoint that you guys have, which is if you're in a relationship, a girl should not have an Instagram account because technically that's cheating because of the amount of attention she gets from
it's
guys.
not just the account. I think it's the account where you're gyrating around in your undies or less and blowing kisses and all this stuff.
I'm pretty sure I asked, can you just have an Instagram account?
No, we clearly established that it's sexy photos when you're in a committed relationship that's disrespectful.
But the thing is you're saying a guy can post sexy photos and he can do that in a relationship.
Yes. Men and women are not the same.
Right. So, but you said that men love quantity over quality, right? So
that is true.
You'll react differently when a female pays you attention to what a female would.
Any attention from any female ever is just we think, oh yeah, they want to bang us. That's what we think.
Yeah. And so I believe that you guys are more likely to act on it because, like you said, it's quality over quantity.
That's correct. Yeah.
I think she's from a male perspective or a female perspective.
So, from your perspective, you say the males want quantity over quality. Yes. So, if you're getting attention on Instagram,
you're more likely to message them back.
You're more likely exactly to act on it.
Okay, but the thing is that women rarely message men. Like I showed you guys before. That's why I demonstrated
half.
Okay, so I think that's just getting into the parts where they went viral. But let me actually play for you guys what they said after the two podcasters left, the Australian podcasters left, because I think I think what they had to say was much more. Oops. It just made more sense. Okay.
And I think, Kyle, thank you for coming to your senses in the end.
Sorry, listen, I tried to hear the point of view, and then they just kept dragging out there and the same. It was like a political statement. Just kept saying the same thing over and over again, and that shit doesn't fly. It's
mate, they're dumb enough to run a country, so you may as well let them. But at the end of the day, I've been with my husband for 15 years. I'm on social media. He's not because he just doesn't know how to work it, bless his soul. But they're pretty much saying that it is my responsibility to control men's actions in my inbox. I'm not accountable for what men do in my life. That's their own business. So if men are coming into my DMs, it's my responsibility to shut it down, which they're not. But if that was the case, I'm not responsible for them. They're responsible for themselves. So don't you dare put that on women. That's like saying if you're wearing a bikini, you're asking to get assaulted.
Yeah,
exactly. It's the same sort of mentality.
Yeah.
100% it is. That is their problem. Good luck to them. Please don't ever let them in our country.
I think I do think a lot of young men do sort of go down this road because they're so full of confusion and jealousy and turning from a boy to a man. You're a real whack job. And I'm not joking. I'm serious. Everyone I know admits that they were a lunatic until they were in their late 30s, because we are still growing.
Yeah.
Our brains, our bodies, our thoughts, our opinions.
Right.
These guys are just young, idiot. Young, dumb, full of cum. That's all they are.
That's it. Okay. We'll take one more caller. Hello, Chris. What did you want to say?
Good morning.
Morning, guys. Yeah, I've been in a relationship, actually married to my wife for about 7 years.
Yeah.
And I can't believe what these guys are saying. I'll take a photo of my wife in a bikini and tell her to post it. Like, honestly, the analogy with that Range Rover that is the same thing.
Yeah,
it was the dumbest analogy. I mean, honestly.
God. No, but seriously, like, if I've got a girl with a good-looking bob, which I do, I want to show her off.
Yeah, you're proud of her, right?
That's why I think it's up to every individual relationship. Everyone's different. There's no blanket rule, you know. Some people might not be comfortable with it. Others, like Chris, are happy and proud that their wife looks great in a bikini, and you post whatever you want to.
That's right. 100%. Jackie, you should do a thirsty topless shot and send it over to the fellas now and see what they think.
Yeah, I will.
Will you? Oh, I was totally doing that as a joke. I didn't realize.
So that was kind of like what happened after they left the podcast. And I know towards the end of the clip where he kind of like blew up on Fresh and Fit and he was trying to talk about Dan Brazilian, but I think was his name Myron kept saying, let me finish. He posted on TikTok what Dan Brazilian actually said. And Dan, if you guys don't know who Dan Brazilian is, he's basically... Let me show you guys who he is. He's basically like this white guy that is like ultimate modern day, I don't know, Hugh Hefner, Playboy or whatever. He's just surrounded by lots of women all of the time. This is Dan Brazilian's TikTok. And this is what he does with his life. He's just always with girls all of the time. He literally lives the like high value, quote unquote, dream. I don't really know what he does for a living to make so much money, but he does. He makes a lot of money doing something. And he's, you know, not married, doesn't have kids, I don't think. But he's just always around girls, like new women all of the time. All of the time. And in the TikTok, well, I'll just play it. He tells you what Dan Brazilian actually says. I will play that TikTok.
Bang. I tried that lifestyle out a few years ago when I got divorced, and I went into a full sex addict, got the big mansion, banging singers, models, whores, everywhere's fabulous. Best time of my life. But then I realized I don't have anyone to talk to about personal things. And am I a big front bum for thinking like that?
He got lonely and decided he wanted to be in a relationship instead.
Right.
Yeah.
I do, kind of the crazy for about 2 to 3 years, and then I usually get into a relationship. I think you can't really go hard for more than like 3 or 4 years tops, and then you really do need a break. For me, I don't know. I kind of like to, have the crazy single life, and then I like a relationship too. It's kind of, just depends on if I'm a little burnt out, sometimes it's good for a break.
I tried that lifestyle out a few years ago when I got divorced, and I went into a full sex addict, got the big mansion.
Okay, so that is what he was saying in that towards the end of the main clip, that that's what Dan Brazilian said. And I just showed you guys Dan Brazilian's TikTok, and he's basically like this wild card type of guy, that lives life on the edge, has a bunch of women around him all the time, like just super rowdy. But even Dan Brazilian, and he's Dan Brazilian is always going viral. He has like 5 million views on millions of views on his TikTok every time he uploads, because it's just a bunch of hot girls and him working out and doing all this macho manly stuff with a bunch of very good looking women around him. So, of course, a lot of men know about him and look up to him. But even Dan Brazilian says that the lifestyle gets depressing, it gets boring. No one wants to be surrounded by a bunch of people all of the time with no kind of emotional connection, with no type of meaning, no purpose in these relationships, because these women do not care about guys like Dan Brazilian. They don't care about guys that are like Fresh and Fit, who may have it going on. These women don't give a damn. And any woman in her right mind that has some common sense, that has a sense of purpose, is not going to stay in a full-blown marriage with a man that thinks like Fresh and Fit, with a man that even thinks like Kevin Samuels. It's not happening. No woman is doing that. Number one, no woman has to do that. Okay, I've said plenty of times on my channel and on my lives that women in 2022 have so many options. Majority of women don't even want a relationship. Majority of women are just trying to work and live their best life for as long as they can, for as long as they want. Having a husband and being in a relationship is not a top tier goal for a large amount of women, because it doesn't have to be. Women have rights, you know. We don't need husbands to buy our own property and to have our own bank accounts anymore. So they can come up with all of these silly, stupid little rules on what a woman should do in a relationship and what she shouldn't do in a relationship. Literally, no woman has to follow. Literally none. And it's sad. It is very sad that the only way men can have some type of improvement and feel better about themselves is if women diminish themselves, is if women delete all their social media, get rid of like what all their friends, change up their style, don't question a man on anything. All of these rules need to happen just for these men to be satisfied in a relationship. I really wouldn't even say satisfied, secure in a relationship, because that's really all it is. All of these qualifications that these clowns have for these relationships is so they can feel secure in the relationship. That's it. It's just so they can feel secure, absolutely nothing else. And their security literally has to come at the expense of women being subjugated. And the men who are falling for it are just falling for it because it's pure sensationalism. Pure sensationalism. That's all it is. Sensationalism, once again, the use of exciting or shocking stories or language at the expense of accuracy. All right. So it's like a tabloid, just a bunch of fake crap to get you to feel good, or to give some kind of emotional response to the reader and or listener. Point blank period. That is really all these male podcasts are doing. They're just saying a bunch of things, and then you have women calling in to somewhat validate what the things these men are saying. And they're just saying a bunch of things to make men who are listening, who are technically incels, who've never even had close relationships with a woman before, make them feel good, make them feel like they have a one up in relationships with women now. But the gag is no woman has to deal with this. So that's one thing that they said in this viral clip, is that they did say that women don't even have to, deal with this. It's their standards, and that's that. But the thing is that, if they're going to have that ideology, that's fine. And they're also not forcing it. They're saying this is the expectation for us, right? Well, no woman in her right mind that would actually make a suitable partner is going to fall for that. They're always going to attract the same type of woman, which are women that just don't care. Whether she's an girl or a girl who works in a barista, both of them aren't going to care, because at the end of the day, they know that the last thing they're going to get from these men, if they comply with these standards, is love. Women need love the same way men need respect. So if these men want to put out all of these standards make sure they get respect, to make sure they get the security they want on their end. But then it only seems that they're only going to give what women are a place to stay, what take care of their wife and pay all the bills, and that's it. That's not love, and no woman's going to stay for that. Not in 2022. Because another thing that Jackie said in the podcast was women are making their own money. No woman has to settle for what the hell you guys are talking about. No woman at all. So to have these standards, to put them out there into the world like they're just, this is what it is completely, they're shooting themselves in the foot. And there are a lot of Black men who agree with this. There's a lot of them are co-signing this, a lot of them are talking about this, and they're sharing this and calling in and commenting, and they're just shooting themselves in the foot because already, especially non-Black women, majority of non-Black women are not trying to have Black husbands. Majority of them are trying to have husbands within their own race. So that's a known fact. So since we know that, and on top of that, a lot of Black men are coming up with these standards, coming up with these requirements just to be in a relationship with them, it's hurting them even more to anyone. And not only that, but Black women are already, a lot of Black women are single. That's also a fact as well. You have a lot of Black women that aren't even with any Black men to begin with. So it's, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you can't miss out on something you're not even getting. So now when you see this type of content, it's even more of a reason to not date them in the first place. Right. And then on top of that, divestment and interracial dating has increased. It's going to continue to increase, especially amongst young Black women who don't have any kids and have never been married. They are now realizing that they have a lot of options, and they don't care to limit themselves to Black men, especially if this is the type of ideology that these men agree with, which isn't an ideology at all. It's just sensationalism. That's all it is. It's not accurate. It's not how you keep a long lasting relationship. It's not how you have a family. It's all just a bunch of jargon on the internet to make Black men look foolish to everyone else, but make Black men feel good to themselves. And, to be honest, this is a lot of men. This isn't really just Black, especially Fresh and Fit. I know that Fresh and Fit has a large, diverse audience of just weird guys, honestly. I'm sorry. Like, they have a large audience of all different types of men. So let me play one more clip that didn't make the viral, pick. Okay.
Yeah, she's shit. Sorry. Mayo was trying to get him on the show. You had a lot of problems too. He wouldn't even talk to you. You had to put a male on there. Pedro had to jump in and secure the interview.
He refused to talk to me. Didn't even want to do the interview. Then Pedro had to come on and save it by saying, yeah, she's shit. Sorry about her. Come on and we'll fix it.
We played him.
Yeah, that's right. You played.
Mayo was on the call listening to it all.
Mayo was listening to you shit-can herself and trick this guy on.
Oh my God.
Genius. Mayo was trying to get him on the show. You had a lot of problems too. He wouldn't even talk to you. You had to put a male on there. Pedro had to jump in and secure the interview.
He refused to talk to me. Didn't even want to do the interview. Then Pedro had to come on and save it by saying, yeah, she's shit. Sorry about her. Come on and we'll fix it.
We played him.
Yeah, that's right.
Mayo was on the call listening to it all.
Mayo was listening to you.
So they're saying that this woman works for, the podcast, this Australian podcast, and she was the first one to contact Fresh and Fit for the interview. And they didn't even want to speak to her. And it wasn't until they had a guy step in and say something they finally responded. So that just goes to show, like the comment on this TikTok says, the way he only listens when another man speaks says a lot about him as an individual. They do consider women property. Telling men online that women are property, that women are to be owned, that you can go around and cheat and do whatever the hell you want is 1000% sensationalism, because it's not accurate. No woman in her right mind who has dignity, integrity, and some form of self respect and confidence is going to stay with a man who is willingly just cheating on her all over freaking town. No woman is dealing with that crap. None whatsoever. So it's just really funny how black men are already, statistically, guys, black men are already the number one to cheat. If you look at divorce statistics, and then you look at reasons for divorce, and then you look at infidelity, and then you break that down between men and women, and you break it down by race, and you look at the men, black men were number one on that list. I am not kidding. You can Google this right now. So it's, and then guys, don't even, there's a whole rabbit hole that we can go down just based on history, slavery, on how black men were seen as breeders, as mandingo buck breeders, and were demanded by the master, by the slave masters to just go around and sleep with women to create slaves, to create more slaves, breeding farms. Guys, there's so much history that can solidify hypersexualness in black men, that it has always been to their demise. So the fact that they're on the internet now trying to glorify this behavior, now trying to say that masculinity, manhood, and just feeling like a man is rooted in them getting rid of integrity, getting rid of morals, and subjugating women, it solidifies everything that, to be honest, white supremacy has always thought and or had um, in mind when it comes to black men. It's just true. Ari says women don't feel safe with these guys in existence. They don't. They don't. Men like this can't be trusted. Do you really think that they want men at the top who are just wild animals out here screwing and bending over different girls all the time while they have a whole wife and babies at home waiting for them? You really think that the the patriarchal system we have wants men like that at the top? Like just openly saying that that's what they're going to do? Right? Just openly out here saying that they will sleep with other women and they will never be loyal. And then consider it okay because at least you know about it, right? And as long as they don't bring home any diseases, which is totally that is not something you can guarantee either. You can't guarantee if you're going to catch an STD or not if you sleep with someone. You can't guarantee that. And black men carry a lot of STDs and they don't get tested, which is why when black women sleep with them and we get tested, our numbers are very high because we actually go to the doctor. We're catching the STDs from the men who don't get checked, so those numbers aren't recorded. They're out here passing out STDs and AIDS and all types of other stuff because they don't care to go to the doctor. Like at all. At all. There was a corporate executive, a white guy, older white guy, and he got fired because he was using his company email and company funds or something like that to communicate and talk to and give money to his mistress or some other woman on the side of his wife, and they fired him for that. Now, I'm sure it was mainly because he was doing it on company time and company resources, but his reputation still took a hit regardless. That is still a way that still was everybody knowing what he did. It's really no different than what the manosphere is talking about, how these high value men can cheat, letting the whole world know about it. No corporate board is going to hire you. No corporate board is going to want you in charge. because they know what you're doing. Whether you're doing it on their time or not, they know it is part of your reputation. This country and majority of other countries, especially countries where they say all the wives are at anyway, were built off of traditional family values for marriage and raising kids. Even countries where women barely have any rights and men are the most in charge, they still don't have savagery and debauchery men running around calling all the shots. They have much more older, wiser men that have discipline and have a good level head on their shoulders. They're not having men like Fresh and Fit and Kitten Heels in charge of anything. That's why this is all just sensationalism. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with helping men actually improve. It has all to do with men feeling better about themselves because they have these loser lifestyles.
WF Raw. Next one. I don't even know where to begin with the comment. Santa and Mrs. Claus tag teaming like it was WWF Raw. Next one. Cooked his ass in the 11 secret herbs and spices. That's referring to you. I need this podcast, please and thank you. I need to watch Aussie mum and dad yell at more people. Kyle and Jackie O going viral for being morally correct is the biggest plot twist of the 21st century.
That's so true.
We stand the Gramps. That's you.
Grandpa. Why do you get so many grandpa comments?
There's
Hang
a
on,
lot
is
of
Gramps grandpa?
Yeah, Gramps.
Oh, shit. I'll take that as a win, but I'm a bit dodge on it.
I swear to God, if this old man doesn't get a raise,
I agree. It's about time I was paid appropriately for this position. They must think I'm skint. That's lovely. I like that.
I don't even know where to.
So that was another TikTok just commenting on like some of the tweets and stuff about, the clip. But I was looking at another comment and I was looking at another, well, I think it was a tweet actually, and someone was saying that in Australia it is very much equal there, meaning the women, it's just not very traditional. Even the women, they actually don't care to pay 50-50. They will do it. They will pay for dates, and it's very much acceptable. And the women there are completely very equal, very much in control in Australia. So, this is a Australian podcast or radio show. I guess it's like the number one over there. And the woman there, all the tweets, comments, Australian woman, completely turned off by Fresh and Fish talking points. Like, there's no way over there those women are dealing with that, because the women do for themselves and relationships are completely equal, and that's actually what they want. Like, there is no movement talking about the woman having a higher quality guy over there. Like, women are proud to have their own, they're proud to contribute, and they wouldn't want it any other way over there. So going on this podcast, on this Australian radio show, and telling people that men are allowed to cheat but women cannot is complete debauchery to them, because it's like, that's not equal, that's not 50-50. What woman would even agree to that? Like, it is not 1900 where women literally had no choice back then, right? Because women couldn't own their own property, they couldn't have certain jobs, or it was just unlikely for them to have certain jobs to make a lot of money, and they couldn't even have their own bank accounts without having a man sign off on something. It's not like that anymore. So no one has to deal with your crazy, psycho, selfish standards. Nobody. No one has to deal with that. And they don't have to deal with that because there's no laws, there's no type of entity forcing them to. Like, men that reflect Fresh and Fit and Kevin Samuels' talking points, they think that there's just nowhere else women can go to find better or to find different. And then they're also under the assumption that women are in desperate need of them. I told you guys before, according to real legitimate research, women by and large don't care to have a relationship. They actually don't care to have a man. They're leaving marriage and their dating life up in the air. They don't care. They're working, they have friends, they have their family, they got nieces, maybe they got nephews, right? Like they have passions. They don't care to get with a guy. And black men in general, it's extra, it's extra just not good for them to be saying this message because out of all men, they are the least likely to be married. They are the most single group of men, period. Women aren't Women were already not checking for them before Kitten Heels went viral and all these other manosphere clips and stuff. Women were already not checking for them. And do you really believe that these talking points are now going to attract women in droves to them? On top of that, they're also the least, they're on the bottom of the economic ladder as well. Yeah, I mean, the average black man makes less than $900 a week compared to the average white man who makes around $1,100, $1,200 per week. All of those real legitimate factors coming into play, and then they come out and release this type of content on the internet, literally for the whole world to see. It's already touched Australia, which is across the globe. Sorry. Because like winter is coming. Like if we want to talk about a winter coming, this is the winter. Okay, it's coming. And it's barely starting into summertime right now. And winter is legitimately coming. No one's dealing with this. And the only women who are going to deal with it are going to be in and out. They're going to get what they can from these guys and dip. They're just not even going to care. No woman in her right mind is going to expect to be loved and cherished by men who think like this. Right? The crazy thing is these guys are saying their standards and their expectations of women, allowing them to cheat and to not have any social media, and still thinking that a woman is going to only want to be with them and fall for them so deeply because of these things. That's not true. If a woman wants to meet those standards, because there are women who probably do, but the likelihood of them looking at a guy like Myron and Kevin Samuels, like that's her knight in shining armor, is incredibly slim. To be honest, from the stories that I hear all of the time, these are the types of men that end up just getting cheated on. These are the types of men that make a lot of money, going to work, doing what they're doing, having these standards that they have for their woman, and the woman is out here screwing the pool boy. Like this is how it starts. These are those types of guys because it's like, what are you gonna do? What you gonna do? You at work all day. You jetting off to other women. You really believe that your woman's gonna stay loyal to you and you're barely giving her anything? He doesn't even. There was like another clip I think. There was another clip I think of Myron saying that he doesn't even care to help his woman climax in the bedroom. That her climax is not important compared to his. And that you shouldn't like help your woman climax. Some weird, you shouldn't help your woman climax because that's like simp behavior, something really stupid. And all the commenters were like, okay, well then you're definitely going to get cheated on then. Did you purposely not wanting to satisfy your woman in the bedroom is exactly how you push her into another man's bed. If we keeping it real. Oh, I found it. Maybe I should just play that for you guys too. It was on wait. Cuz when I heard this is crazy cuz it's like who really is going to settle for that? Like what woman in her right mind that enjoys pleasure and enjoys just feeling good and plenty of women do, by the way. It's not a new concept. Plenty of women enjoy feeling good. Why would she? What woman would settle for that? Okay. Wait a minute.
To protect her than I don't want to sound like an asshole, man, but I don't do shit for the express pleasure of women, man. It's a waste of time. It's way more important to protect her than to please her. Who gives a fuck about a woman's orgasm? It's useless.
Right.
Sorry.
Wait a minute. You said who gives a have a woman ever had an orgasm with you when you was having sex?
Yeah,
Do you know how that feels for you?
Yeah, but I don't. I'm not like in there like trying to like make it happen. I just like do it. If it happens, awesome. If it don't, like, all right, well.
So have you ever like
gonna work out. The woman was like, "That's why your relationships don't work." I mean, really? You don't care about a woman's pleasure in bed. She has to delete her Instagram. You're the only one who can cheat. She has to stay completely loyal to you. On top of that, you're a black man. Just on top of all of that, you're a black man in America. And you believe that all of those factors are going to be able to get you the best woman out there who will fall in line with all of this. Like, I know, like, I'm not tripping, am I? Am I tripping? Am I tripping for real? There's no way in hell I would stay with a man. I don't even want to think about marriage to a man like that because it wouldn't even. No. Can you imagine? So even if there are women that will delete their Instagram, because I know women that they got married and they're totally just don't even care about social media anymore. It's not even that big of a deal to them. They were only on it for like to check up on their friends and to post random things anyway. So they decide when they become mothers and wives that they're just gonna only be on social media to connect with family and that's it. Pretty much normal in my life. That's not a big deal. So, maybe there's women that will delete the Instagram. You even have women that will stay even if there's infidelity, right? There's women that will even stay and work it out through that. But now you're saying you don't even want to please her in bed though? She can't even get that? So it's literally like you just want a woman to have a woman around you at all times. You don't really want a marriage. You definitely don't want a relationship. You don't want anything. You just want a woman there. That's it. Because she can't really get much of anything. And this is how you know these men are incels. And I'm going to have a conversation. I've talked a lot about incels already, but I want to have a different conversation about incels and femcells as well. But an incel is also a man who just hasn't had intimate connections with a woman outside of the bedroom, like emotional, mental, and real deep, vulnerable like connections. Those are also men who are incels. You have men that just sleep with women and that's it. They just have situationships for 6 months and then it's a new girl and then 6 months and it's another new girl, like just switching women out left and right. Those men are still technically incels because they've never had real relationship with a woman before. And this is how you can tell, because these guys have extremely unrealistic expectations. They actually have no idea what women truly desire and what women think at all. They only know women based off of what women do from a non-intimate viewpoint. So they only know what women do, women that want to use them for money, women that want attention, women that are desperate and maybe a little insecure, but they don't know real women in the sense of real intimate relationship connection that doesn't have to do with sex, that doesn't have to do with her trying to get something out of you, just real genuine connection. They don't know what that's like. They don't know what that's like because they're very unrealistic with their thinking and they sound crazy. And they also have just never had it. And they can't get it. No matter how hard they try, they're stuck in their ways. They have, a mind that just can't be changed. And women just end up leaving all of the time. All of the time. That's just how it goes. These are also incels, because everyone thinks incels has just to do with bedroom stuff, and it's absolutely not. It's just any time where you're just not used to having a connection. You're just awkward and weird when it comes to having a connection with someone. Men are socially awkward not only because they don't have anyone to sleep with, but because they just can't have regular, decent, fun conversations. They're just awkward and weird. And that's just what it is.
You remember you asked me? You said, why? Why are we doing this?
Why not?
Care about
It's a duty.
It's like, do you want a sex life like that? What happened to just being a little bit Is that a crazy thing to say? I don't know.
Well, if you really like the girl and you want and you care about the length of the relationship, I feel like having her orgasm as well not only is pleasing for the average man, because you're unique. You don't care about that stuff. But
a lot of guys don't care about it. They just I'm just voicing their opinion.
Cap.
Bruh. He literally said a lot of guys don't care about that stuff. I'm just voicing their opinion. What? There are plenty of men who care about their woman, number one, because to care about your woman and to care about a person is to care about their satisfaction. As you should. That's your person. Why wouldn't you? If you have a real legitimate relationship, you can't help but to be concerned and want to make sure that they are happy with you. But it's not going to feel like work. It's not going to feel like struggle. You're going to enjoy doing it. But since these men are legitimate incels, when it comes to real relationships with women, they don't know what that's like. They don't know what it's truly like to enjoy a woman without her doing something for him. Like, they don't know what it's like to just enjoy the presence of a woman, to meet a woman who is just so amazing in her aura and her energy that he can just be around her and it feels good. And that's all she needs to do is just be. Men like this don't know what that's like, so that's why they don't care about making her happy and fulfilling her needs, and they don't gain fulfillment from making sure that she's satisfied.
Wait, what's that? How do you feel about this?
Shout out to Fresh. Shout out to Fresh. Shout out to Fresh. Myron said something. Fresh be like, let me know this nigga.
So this is actually a Abba and Preach video. I don't know where the original clip is, but hold on.
That shit, roll that.
Can I sell feet pictures for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, and possibly make a living off it?
If you find the woman that's upset with you, that you know loves you, find that woman that
He's so goofy, right? He's goofy, right? Shout out to Fresh, man.
Shout out to you.
Do you enjoy making a woman bust or not? You don't give a shit.
She got to come before I do.
Oh,
yeah, thank you. He gets it. It's like she comes before I do. You want to know why?
Because it's hard.
Go ahead.
Because it's harder to make a woman come than making me come.
Yeah.
Like I know 100% I'm gonna get mine. I'm gonna get.
I like multiple too. Like she comes.
That's what I said.
Times, then,
bro, that's what I said.
Myron,
just say you can't.
It make the experience better.
Yeah, if you smashing your girl and right after she's going to the gym and she can run a marathon, well, you hitting it wrong.
Well, I like the way this motherfucker talks, man. I ain't gonna.
That's what I'm saying. And another telling thing too is that we asked the ladies on the panel yesterday, if a guy gave you great sex, would you still stay with him if he was a bum? And they said no.
Is that the reason why he doesn't give great sex? Is because a woman wouldn't stay because of that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's flip it. I've hit a few gold diggers in my day. And even when the sex was good, I didn't keep them around because, you gotta pay to play. And we all know a true gold digger would never get in a relationship with a broke guy. Instead, she'll just marry that guy with the whack sex and the whack swag, but smash the young college student while you're on deployment, serving your country. She'll tell that college student how her husband never makes her come, and you're the first guy to do it.
That's what I'm saying. These are the type of guys that will get cheated on. The woman will just hit up the young, hot pool boy who has the energy to get her off. They're not dealing with incel, like spiteful men who have money, that don't want to please them, that want them to delete all their social media, that don't want them to go anywhere while they cheat with who knows where, risk giving them STDs. These men will get cheated on. The woman will leave. Any woman. I don't care if, these men talk about going to the slums of Brazil to find a wife. Those girls gonna leave too. They may not be able to speak no English, but they know what it means to feel good. And if they can't feel good, they're not staying. They're gonna maybe pop out a kid, do what they got to do, and dip. Get what they can out of it and leave. These guys are obsessed with sensationalism. They don't understand that it is 2022. No woman anywhere in the world has to deal with that, especially if they're living here in the US, where a woman can do literally whatever they want. Literally whatever they want. Literally whatever they want to do. You do not have ownership of women here. You don't. You never will. Like, these men make it seem like you can't leave. Like, you can't just up and literally go. Especially while they know that according to these divorce statistics, women are the ones filing majority of the time. Do these men really believe they're exempt from having a wife and having the same type of thing happen to them, especially with these standards and expectations?
And since you're the one making her happy, she'll let you drive that S550 Benz, give you money when you ask, and swallow your kids in the bed she sleeps in her husband with. Yeah.
Like, good sex is not enough to women, man. Like, women aren't like physical. Like, so why are you gonna do all this extra shit when it's not really, like I said, you're stepping over dollars to pick up quarters.
Huh? He says, why would you do that if it's not gonna get you what you want? It's like, not everything that you do within the dynamics of a relationship is 100% just to keep her. If that's all you think about, like, all right, what do I need to do to keep her? That's gonna make her 100% stay. Pay the bills. All right, that's all I'm gonna do. Why would I be kind? It's like, she's not gonna stay because I was kind to her. I pay the bills. Why would I be respectful? I don't need to respect the bitch.
Exactly. And those are the talking points, and that is the ideology of, these male improvement blogs and podcasts. It's rooted in sensationalism. These men are incels. They are scared of women leaving them, so they're telling men to basically practice no form of real attachment except for just paying bills. She had your kids, so you need to pay the bills and be there. Don't want to raise any kids in single parent homes. But at the end of the day, since you're paying the bills, you can do what you want as the man. What man wouldn't want to hear that he has a wonderful wife waiting at home and he can still go out and do whatever the hell he wants? What man wouldn't enjoy hearing that? Like, what man wouldn't enjoy that lifestyle in the first place? Like, wouldn't you enjoy being able to fulfill all of your wildest desires while knowing you still have security whenever you want to return home? Like, everyone wants, that's something that feels good for anyone to hear. Sensationalism, but it's not rooted in reality and it's not rooted in facts. People that have their heads together aren't going to deal with that. They will always leave at some point. The only way, the things that these men are saying can work is literally if like divorce became illegal or something, or literally if it went back to what it was in the 1900s, women couldn't do anything or go anywhere like that. They couldn't buy anything like that. Only if that happened, then these guys would be saying what they want, and they just might really get it, because women have no rights to leave and do much for themselves without their husbands. But it's not like that. So these guys can get on these microphones and say whatever the hell they want. It is not a reality, and it never will be for probably like 97% of their audience. To be honest, maybe even 100%. I'm not, because like what woman is going to deal with that? 100%, because any woman that does sign up for it, they're going to end up leaving anyway. Like 97% of women aren't even going to deal with it, and then that last 3% might deal with it, but then they'll just leave too after a while, because it's just tiring. Imagine committing yourself to a man for your entire life who's cheating on you, who doesn't want you to be on social media, who also doesn't want to please you in bed, and doesn't want you to be with no one else for the rest of your life. Does that sound attractive to any of you guys in the chat? Does that sound attractive to anyone? It's not attractive to any woman in her right mind. Would never be with a guy who wants to cheat on her, not please her in bed, tell her she can't sleep with anyone else either, and she can't even be on social media at all. That sounds like a nightmare. That sounds like a nightmare for any woman who is living a liberated life where she can choose to do and be who she wants in 2022. It sounds like a legitimate nightmare.
I pay the bills. Women not gonna stay with a motherfucker just because he's respectful if he broke. So as long as I got it's like, is that how you think of all the aspects of your relationship? You think of pleasure in the bedroom and the function of like, well, she's not gonna leave if I don't do it, so fuck it. Goddamn. This is a minimum wage relationship. Ooh. This is a minimum wage relationship. This motherfucker is an entry-level job into the relationship world. What do I need to do?
The minimum required. The minimum required.
Yeah, that's it.
This motherfucker's a night shifter.
I don't know what that means.
When the bosses are not around, I have the night shift. I do the minimum. I'm supposed to do this, that. I'm not gonna go extra month. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the minimum.
Yeah.
Night shifters.
My thing is not extra. Be the whole package.
Yeah.
So if I'm that alpha masculine, do whatever, and I can make my girl come, even better. Because now I'm the whole package. So where's she gonna go? Nowhere else.
That boy is good.
Everyone's different.
Fresh is absolutely correct.
What the fuck did you say?
Fresh is absolutely correct.
And he is.
For my methodology is I self-improve to the point where it's like, all right, but you can go ahead and try to replace me, but you're gonna look, you're gonna be stupid. And it is what it is. Like,
you're not gonna look stupid because girls talk, man.
You think she gonna look stupid? Be like, why'd you leave him? And she gonna play this clip. And they be like, we get it. They're gonna just play this video and everyone will be like, this motherfucker's stupid.
I look at it like when you self-improve, where it's like you're the best option is like, all right, what am I gonna do here? And then her not knowing where she stands with you, that's gonna turn her on more, and you win in the end. Like, I don't want to sound like an asshole, man, but I don't do shit for the express pleasure of women, man. It's a waste of time.
Well, we know Myron doesn't do relationships, so he doesn't keep women around long term. Most women that don't have mental issues will not stay in a relationship with a man that treats them like shit.
Listen, I don't.
He said most women who don't have mental issues is not dealing with it. But he's right though. No woman who has her head together is dealing with this type of relationship. And then he's trying to really say, where are you gonna go? I've leveled up so much. There's no men like this. It's 2022, sir. There's lots of women who I'm sure every woman would want a millionaire, but there are lots of women who still live extremely happy lives without one. So it's not a necessity to live a happy life. Like, why are these men making it seem like the only way you can have a good life as a woman is if you marry this high value man who can give you all these things? No, you don't. It's not necessary. It hasn't been necessary for a really long time. It probably really was never necessary. Before women even had rights, they had husbands that weren't millionaires but still lived happy lives, I'm sure. So it's not necessary for a woman to have this very high value, high quality, or I'm not, well, not high quality, high earning man to live a good life. No, they don't. And it is what it is. And what really is going on is not only this male sensationalism dressed up as male improvement, but it's also the male's desperate need to feel needed, or desperate desire to feel needed by women, right? Desperate desire for men to feel needed. Because even men that are making lots of money, Black men in particular, they're the least likely to marry compared to non-Black men who earn a lot of money. So these high earning Black men are still just as single. they're not winning in their love life when they make more money. We actually are seeing more stories of high earning Black men just getting used as a lick. You know what I'm saying? Like women just getting with them, getting what they can and leaving to find like the real legitimate love of their lives. I am gonna keep this live up. Hopefully. I mean, hopefully I can. I'm gonna leave it up. Learning IT said he's insecure and afraid of women. That's so freaking rare. Exactly. He's insecure, he's afraid of women, and he also sees women as competition. That's why any woman that gets with guys that think like this, they have to like get rid of everything. Probably their passions. They have to, get rid of their social media, certain friendships. Like they must do it in order for these men, not even for the relationship to work, because you don't need to get rid of social media for your relationship to work. Um, you don't need to cut off certain friendships for your relationship to work either. You can just develop boundaries and have certain standards for yourself as a woman to make sure that these things just don't get in the way of your relationship. But all of these things need to happen just for them to feel secure in a relationship as men. It's all about like what the woman must do in order for these men to feel like the man in the relationship, and what women need to do, what women need to put up with, and all these things. Nothing about how he can just be better on his own, how he can make himself feel like the man on his own. Why does a woman need to get involved in that process? This brings me back to the emasculation conversation that I had on my channel last week. And Tashina Arnold asking, how can we as Black women aid in Black men no longer being emasculated? Why are we involved in that process? That is not a process that Black women need to be involved in. Maybe if these men weren't so degenerate, they'd feel more like men. If they were actually occupying masculine roles of leadership, of discipline, of ambition, and building things, they'd feel more masculine. They'd feel more like men. Why do Black women need to do anything? It doesn't make it's stupid. It's pure sensationalism. It's not rooted in anything else but that. And the more that these males want to get on the microphone and tell the entire world their schemes and their plans and their desires, the more they look foolish. And I've said this before, that these males having microphones, it's a curse, but it's also like a blessing. It's a blessing because you get to see them for what they are and how they really think, and you now know how to avoid them by any means necessary. And the curse is, they're talking like this. They talk about Black women like this now. But the blessing is you get to see them for what they are, plain as day, free 99, without having to leave your house. And you already know what they're thinking, what they're after, and their delusional expectations and very abusive and misogynistic views on women. Melanie says, I would not even consider them as real men. They're not. They're not real men. They're not real men because they have no desire to please anyone but themselves. They're like children. That's what children do. Children seek pleasure for themselves. Animals have no type of control. Aries says orgasms are a part of the motivation for women to deal with men, or that man just a wallet. Exactly. Look, being able to get yours in bed as a woman is the most the most exhilarating experience. And there's already a lot of women that don't even get to experience that because so many men don't even know what the heck they're doing when they're down there anyway. So now you're openly saying that you're not even going to try with your own wife. The rest of her life, she has to deal with you cheating and you never satisfying her. And she can't be with no one else. So you just want a woman to have your kids and to just be there, to go with you to your galas and your events and stuff like that. You don't want a wife. You don't want a relationship. A relationship, what is a word that is in relationship? Relate. In a relationship, you relate. Basically. When you relate to someone, you have common ground with that person. You guys have similar interests, similar pleasures, similar values and morals and things like that. If you're saying that you don't care to have those things with your woman, you just want a woman who knows her place, can be quiet, and all this other things, you don't want a relationship. You definitely don't want a marriage, because a marriage is a whole other thing. A marriage is a whole commitment. And if you're religious, it's a whole covenant before God. And all of your loved ones, you're vowing your life to this person. It's like a whole entire thing, and they can't even handle a smidget of that with this type of ideology. Like, these men are out here dating like they have their entire life to lose. Like they're dating and giving each other advice like they're the ones who can end up dead and in the ground somewhere, when it's really women that are out here going on dates and not coming home, getting married, pregnant, and then getting taken out by their own husbands within the first 5 years of marriage. That stuff is happening to women, not men. Women need to be out here giving hysteria dating advice, because we're the ones whose lives are getting taken. But not even women are doing stuff like this. Not to this degree. Melanie says intimacy is very important, a real relationship. It is. Intimacy makes the relationship. And if you want to do everything but that, you don't have one. You never will. That person will leave you. They will leave you. They are not going to stay, especially in 2022. Women have so many options today. So many options today. So many things that they can do. So many industries that all industries really, women can get into. In some kind of way, in some capacity, women can get into it. Like there's no way any woman has to put up with this stuff. So it's really weird how these guys are trying to really push this message so hard, and literally no one has to listen to it. Literally no one has to give you what um give these guys what they desire. No one does. And women have that full power and right to dispose of men who think like this, to dispose of men who only want to do for themselves in relationships and marriages, and believe that they have the right to do that as men because they pay the bills. That's not something special. Women pay their own bills. And you ladies know, like, my channel is traditional. I'm pro marriage, right? I'm pro nuclear family. But this is not something that should be forced on anyone. Women can choose what they want to do. You can be 50-50. You can be more modern. You can be maybe like an 80-20 situation. There's lots of women who are actually getting into 80-20. Like they pay the grocery bill and the man pays everything else. Or they pay the cable bill and the man pays everything else. Something like that. There's a lot of women who don't consider that a big deal because they actually enjoy their jobs. They have passion at their work. Like women who are teachers or something, they have a passion for children and teaching kids. So they're always going to work and they wouldn't mind chipping in a bill or two. It doesn't bother them. That's a lot of women. Traditional women that are so just down and out to the point where they have to deal with something like this are not the majority. So when these guys are saying they have lots of options, they have lots of options for gold diggers. They have lots of options for women who want to get what they can from them and dispose of them. They do not have lots of options for women who want to be legitimate wives and have real, loving, honorable marriages. They do not have a lot of options in a woman like that because no woman's dealing with this. She doesn't have to. It doesn't make much sense why men are putting this so hard. Even the men in these comments are saying the same thing. Someone is saying Myron is effectively stating that all he needs is a gold digger because no self-respecting woman would settle for a man who talks about women like he does, no matter how many bills he can pay. Exactly. The fact that they don't believe that women are very sexual and women don't care to be satisfied in the bedroom confirms that they are incels, confirms that they lack the ability to have real relationships with women, to actually know how women are from a woman herself. Maybe women aren't sexual to the point where not all of us are posting nudes on Instagram and getting on TV stripping and all this stuff. You know, there's obviously an industry where women are doing that, but it's not an everyday thing. Like there's other women who are teachers, who are working in restaurants, who have their PhD. Like those women are not out here getting naked for everyone to see. So no, women aren't sexual in that way. Like that's extreme. But when they are sharing intimate time with their man, they want to feel good too. Everyone from the lady who has her PhD to the girl who's half naked on OnlyFans, both women want to feel good with their partner in bed. Like the fact that he doesn't believe that, or he's not making that a priority, or both, he doesn't believe it, which is why he doesn't make it a priority. It just goes to show how much he doesn't know women at all. Not at all. He only knows gold diggers and he only knows women that could give a damn about him. Those are the only types of women he knows, because good women with their head on straight aren't staying with this guy for long. They're leaving him. And the only women who are staying with him for any amount of time are women who are using him for a lick. They're women who could probably care less. Yeah, who probably don't care to have a climax in bed because they just want some money. They want him to hurry up and get his, pay her so that she can leave. Those are the types of women that he deals with. He doesn't deal with real women, so he doesn't understand that real women do care to be satisfied. And he also is just, exposing himself too. One guy said the fact that they are teaching other young men to hate and disrespect women is just crazy. They need a break from the internet to reevaluate their lives. Yeah. Like, it's a lot of young men watching this stuff too. A lot of young men that are watching this stuff and seriously believing this stuff. Because let's get one thing straight as well. Young people in general aren't even having, they're not even sleeping with each other that much. They're not getting into a lot of relationships. And young girls are also, abortion numbers have decreased, especially for Black women. They're always talking about Black women and abortions, and I don't know why, because literally on the CDC website, the abortion rate for Black women has continuously decreased over the past decade. It is not high as it was over a decade and a half ago or something. Okay, so that means that either younger Black girls are not sleeping around as much, or they're not even getting pregnant in the first place. Either one, which has also decreased. Single mother rate for a Black woman has decreased as well over the past few years. I've said that before on my channel too. So, the fact that younger people aren't even getting into relationships like that, they're not sleeping with each other like that. These young men are watching this type of content and really believing this stuff because they're not even experiencing it for themselves first to know the difference, to know what's actually right. So they're teaching these young guys how to just disregard women's needs and desires. And these young guys are believing it because they're not getting into their own relationships. These like college age younger guys. And they're literally going to grow up in the next 10 years following in the same footsteps. A bunch of failed situationships under their belt. Not even a real relationship. Definitely nowhere close to a marriage. A failed situationship. I think I said before on my channel that I was dating a guy once, and he was like 30 years old, and he had never, ever in his whole life brought a woman home or like told his parents about that he would have a girlfriend or anything like that. Black guy, American Black man. Because I know in some cultures it's weird, like involving your parents in your dating life. But here in American culture, it's not weird. It's usually not strange like that. Like usually here in the US, you can talk to your parents about you're dating someone or whatever. Usually, not all the time, but usually some people have comfortable relationships with their parents where they can just, talk about that they're dating someone or whatever. But he was 30 years old and had never mentioned anything about him dating a woman at all to any family member ever. 30 years of his life. Maybe it's just me, but I thought that was weird. I thought that was weird. Like, he's a whole man who can initiate relationships. Like, it's different if it's a woman. I get it. Maybe, it's a woman because you don't want to put yourself out there like that, looking all fast to your family or whatever. But to a man, though, like, that's kind of strange to me at 30. I thought that was weird. So it's like, that's going to be a lot of young men. They're going to get to 35 and up and had never presented a woman of value that they actually liked to their family. Just gonna have a bunch of situationships, thinking that all women are just these city girls and OnlyFans chicks and gold digger chicks, which is why you shouldn't really care about them. But it's like majority of women are not working in adult entertainment industries. Like they're not doing that. Majority of women are just regular everyday women who have the same needs and desires of wanting to have romance, fulfilling, loving relationships, wanting to feel satisfied and pleasured by their man. And they don't want to, have to feel like they have to give up their very needs to make their man happy or to just have a relationship. Who wants that? It doesn't make any sense. And real men who aren't scared of women, who aren't in competition with them, who actually have a real purpose in life, those men are not going to reject his woman's needs and desires. He's going to get off of you getting off. Okay? It's a turn on for those types of guys. It's a turn on to please his woman. It makes him feel more like a man knowing that you're satisfied with him. So, it is what it is. Look, more of this is going to keep happening. Okay. Winter is definitely coming for a lot of males with mics. This is all, in my eyes, this all falls in line with Black male supremacy. I did a live on that about 2 weeks or so ago. I didn't leave it up. But this is what it looks like just when it comes to the Black man, everyone else is disregarded and he is exalted. So that's not in alignment with anyone. It's not in alignment with anyone's views. And it's nowhere near how to live a life with a woman, with a family. It doesn't work out. It's not going to work. So, but all right, ladies, that's really all I had. I hope that you ladies enjoyed this video. Make sure to like the video if you're catching the replay. If you're catching the replay, comment down below your thoughts. Can you put the lives you don't leave? Yeah, I do have a Patreon, and I'm gonna put the lives up on there. I was only gonna charge like $2 a month, but it'll be a place where I have my lives on there. So yeah, I do have my Patreon. I'm not done with it yet, but I'm gonna work on it and I'll leave it up. It'll be real cheap, like $2 or something. So yeah. But I'll leave this one up and comment down below what you think, and I will talk to you ladies in the next one. Bye.